Hey guys, I would like to share with you my process, how I created metaphors to learning and teaching. I would like to show you this. Don't worry, you will see it in the middle of the video, so you can look at it more closely. I have done this thanks to Melanie. During the summer course, and it was amazing. The task was to go outside, to look around you, and create metaphors to teaching and learning, or teaching or learning. And because I'm indecisive, so I created metaphors to both these words, and it was amazing. I basically went out, and I knew in a very first moment where I will go. I go in my hometown, very small town, very green, and I went to the stadium, and I sit there because the stadium is surrounded by trees, and also by a playground, and it's really beautiful part of the town. It's almost in the end of the town, so it's very calm there. And I sit there, and I calmed myself. I looked into the sky, into the green, and I was thinking, okay, so teaching, learning, and then I saw a cloud in a shape of something, and it made me think of teaching somehow. I cannot explain the process more. But I just stared at in the nature, to various pieces of nature, let's say, and the words just came up to me. And it was interesting that in English it was easier for me. It's probably because in English I don't know so many words, so it was easier for me to be more exact. So it was very interesting process. I really loved it. I think that I sat there like for half an hour, and I had a piece of paper and the pencil, and I just made notes. And so finally, some of my metaphors was, for example, when I stared at the stadium. So I found that learning is a muscle building. Your brain behaves like a muscle, that if you run every day, after a week you will run faster and more easy. When you learn regularly, it's easier. The beginning is hard, but then it's easier. So learning is a muscle building. That came up in my head when I looked at the stadium, and I was thinking about the processes which are going around in that very place. Then around the stadium there was an apple tree. So I looked at the tree. I really love trees. I think that they are full of metaphors. And I found that when you imagine you climb the tree, and at the first you see just something, and then when you go up, you see more and more. So that teaching is an invitation to explore, that learning is exploring. So when you teach, you invite your students to explore new words. And because the apples were yellow and red and green also, I found out that teaching is showing the colorfulness of the world. When I looked behind the stadium, there's a meadow, so I came up with that teaching is looking further. That you always, when you also learning, when you learn, you go on the path, and you see more and more. There's like you see, yeah, you go and you see what what you can learn more. So as a teacher, you see much more than your students, and you can show them, when you learn this is the starting point to this, and then you can use it there, and so on. So I really see that teaching is about invitation, about showing, about about inviting to adventurous path. And because the stadium used to be surrounded by the fence, but there are many holes in the fence, and there is that's very funny. There's the hole and the door. So that came up to my mind. Teaching is discovering new door where are not yet. There are no door yet. When I saw a particular plant, which was much bigger than the other plants, but of the same kind, I came up with the metaphor that teaching is encouragement to grow more than expected. Yeah, and when I saw the hole deck in the ground, so I find out that learning is a digging deeper. Always digging deeper, going further and digging deeper. And yes, when I also like used the sense of touching with while creating metaphors. You can see the pieces there. So I placed a weed there. So I wrote that learning is pulling out wrong and planting seeds of good. I also feel that teaching is a lot about showing your students what's good and what's not good, in terms of behavior, for example. So that when someone is educated, you expect him to do something or expect him not to do something. Learning is a path where you meet beauty and the obstacles also. So it's you can't divide it. It's hard at one time, but it's beautiful at the same time. And the last metaphor, when I looked at the stadium, I said that the teaching is cheering up, encouraging, because you as a teacher can encourage students to learn. You cannot learn, they have to learn, and you can support them, you can show them the ways, you can show them methods, you can show them the knowledge, but they have to do the work, and you can support them, cheer them up, encourage, and help to stay on the good path.